Impact Team.
Well, thanks for joining me for our extended coverage of weather. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got multiple opportunities for rain heading our way. Another hot week ahead for us across the Tennessee Valley, really across all of the southeast. And I'm going to have an update on the tropics as well, because we have had a storm on the east coast, really affecting the Carolinas. So let's just go ahead and start with what we're dealing with right now across the Tennessee Valley. We're starting to see a little bit of rainfall bubble up, especially on the western side. The heaviest, though, looks like it's been staying to the north of Ardmore, so in southern middle Tennessee. Giles and Lincoln counties saw a little bit of that as well, but on the western side, Lauderdale, Colbert, Franklin counties really seeing the majority of the rain falling, and it did come with a little bit of lightning embedded within some of the rain. Notice to the north of Russellville, we're still tracking this one particular storm. It does continue to pack a little bit of a punch with the lightning involved in it, but I can say that the lightning count has decreased as these storms continue to progress towards the north and east. They are going to diminish in strength for a little while, and we might not even see any rainfall here once we get closer into the Huntsville metro once these storms do. So we'll just have to continue to watch these. Like I said, they are starting to decrease in strength as they move northeastward. So zooming things out a little bit, you can tell that pretty much the entire southeast dealing with scattered showers and thunderstorms of some capacity, and that's just really going to be the case heading into the next couple of days, with more days forecasted to see rain than others. It was another hot one across the Tennessee Valley. Florence saw 96. The Shoals registered 98 degrees for their high temperature today. 94 here in Huntsville, 91 in Pulaski, 93 in Athens and Decatur, 91 was the high today in Coleman, and Fort Payne, Scottsboro, Arab, and Albertville all saw right around 93 for high temperatures today. Now, high temperatures going to be staying in the low 90s for tomorrow and for Wednesday, and then we will see a little bit of a drop in temperatures. It's not going to be a whole lot. You're not even really going to notice it, but we will see 88 for Thursday, 89 heading into Friday. And then, of course, just in time for the weekend, we're going to bring the 90s back into the forecast. It looks like we're forecasted to see right at 90 for Saturday, Sunday, and for about this time next week. Now, the Climate Prediction Center, they continue to have the Tennessee Valley in the above average category. So we've got about a 30% chance to see above normal temperatures for this time of the year once we get beyond the 7-day forecast. So this is valid for July the 15th through July the 21st. So the heat and the moisture, unfortunately, isn't going to be going anywhere anytime soon. Now, we are going to be tracking a frontal boundary. That's what's going to be bringing majority of the rainfall. It is going to come in the way of a cold front, but then it's going to change really into a stationary boundary. And usually when we see a front, we see a little bit of dry air push in with it, but that's not going to be the case for the next couple of days. In fact, our dew point is going to be staying in the low 70s, getting to near tropical on Thursday. 75 is our forecasted dew point. Now, dew point is the measured amount of moisture that we have within the atmosphere. So the higher the number, the more humid it is outside. So we're going to be staying pretty muggy at least throughout the next 5 days. That's also going to have an effect on our feels like temperatures, our heat index values. So potentially we're going to be feeling like 105 tomorrow. We'll stay in the lower 100s for Wednesday, feeling like right around 98 come Thursday. And then Friday and into the weekend, which I could imagine this will carry over into Sunday as well. Our feels like temperature is going to be in the lower 100s. So what is heat advisory criteria? We've already had a couple of them for the summer, but we see a heat advisory become issued when one of two of these things happen. When the heat index is forecasted to reach 105 to 109, or when the air temperature is forecasted to reach 100 to 104. As of right now, we're not expected to see heat advisory criteria, but I could probably imagine we would see another heat advisory throughout the rest of the summer. We're definitely not quite done with the heat just yet. In fact, we're just getting into the beginning of it. If you're planning to spend your Tuesday out by the pool, it is going to be nice to do so. Low 90s by the time we reach noon. So It's going to be getting warm really quickly. We'll see mostly sunshine for a good chunk of the day, but heading into the later part of the afternoon, that's when we're really going to start to see those rain chances elevate. By about 3 o'clock, we've got about a 50% chance to see rain and a few thunderstorms, and that's going to carry over into a good majority of Tuesday night. Now, if you are planning to spend the day outdoors in some capacity, it is going to be a very high UV index. It's going to be on the higher end of the scale, so we're looking at probably a UV index of 10, maybe even higher in some areas. So burn time only going to take about 15 minutes. So you definitely want to have some sort of protection if you are planning to spend the day outdoors. High temperatures, this is actually for tomorrow. We will continue to see the low 90s all across the board. And we do have the thunderstorm icon. That's because we are expected to see rain for tomorrow as well. Like I mentioned earlier, though, it's not expected to come until we get into the later half of the afternoon. So noon through, I'd say, about 3 o'clock, that's when we're expected to be in a dry period. But rain chances will start to gradually increase heading into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Those 3 days look to be the wettest. A 70% chance heading into Wednesday, 80 heading into Thursday. 70 into Friday. The weekend, it does come with some rain. It's not going to be a total washout, but we are expected to see pretty scattered showers on our FOX54 radar heading into the weekend. But by about this time next week, we're only expected to see rain chances right around 30%. So for tomorrow, we're going to have a dry start to our Tuesday, just a few high clouds here and there. But heading into the afternoon, that's when we're really going to see those rain chances increase. It is going to be scattered in nature. We're not expected to see widespread rainfall, but we'll keep rain in the forecast through at least early Wednesday morning. So I'm talking right around midnight, 1 a.m., maybe even for some locations, but we'll start to dry out for Wednesday morning, and then we're going to do it all again on Wednesday. In fact, Wednesday's rain chance is a little higher, as I mentioned earlier. So rain accumulation throughout the next 7 days, it's really just going to be dependent on where you're located across the Tennessee Valley. Florence, Russellville, Moulton, expected to see about 1 to 2 inches of accumulation, where some locations, possibly even Coleman, Arab, Fayetteville, could potentially see around 2 to 4 inches of accumulation through the next 7 days. Now, this doesn't mean that we're going to be seeing 2 to 4 inches of rainfall fall down at one time during one day. This is over a duration of 7 days, potentially seeing 2 to 4 inches of rainfall. So we don't have a drought ongoing right now. We're actually seeing a lot of rainfall, measured rainfall for this time of the year. We're above average as of right now, but we all know how that gets heading into September and October. Even the later half of August, we'll start to see this drought monitor light up a little bit. But for right now, drought conditions are not an issue. So let's go ahead and talk about the tropics. We did have Tropical Storm Chantel. It was over on the eastern side, so it really affected the Carolinas heading up closer to Virginia. It's just bringing a lot of rainfall at the moment. It's not even tropical anymore. It's a post-tropical cyclone. So really it's just a low pressure system. It's going to continue to move to the north and east, bringing in a lot of rainfall to areas like New York and especially on the extreme northeastern side of the United States. We got that frontal boundary that's kind of sandwiching the rain in between what used to be Chantel. So that's helping to aid in those rain chances increasing. So no tropical development expected throughout the next 7 days across the Atlantic or the Gulf, but we are moving along through our Atlantic hurricane season names. We've already seen Andrea, Barry, and Chantel. The next name, whenever that storm decides to develop, will be Dexter. And I can tell you that NOAA has predicted us to see an above average hurricane season. I mentioned this once they released this, but it's always good to remember that we are expected to see that. Potentially seeing 6 to 10 hurricanes is what they're expecting, with 3 to 5 of those becoming major hurricanes. So we all know that that's category 3 and above. So your 7-day forecast is going to be warm out there, low 90s for tomorrow. Like I mentioned earlier, that rain not expected to come until the later half of the afternoon. Temperature is going to be dropping a little bit heading into Thursday.